She says this: "It's time to walk away with your dignity." There's a moment in every man's life when the silence speaks louder than words. And then there's a moment when a woman will say something so subtle, so seemingly innocent, that it cuts deeper than any loud argument ever could. She'll say it calmly, almost coldly. And yet, it will echo in your mind long after the conversation is over. "I just need space. You deserve someone better. Not sure what I want." Anymore, these aren't just phrases, they are signals. A silent request for you to let go. And if you're wise, you'll listen not to her words, but to what's hidden beneath them, because clinging on to someone who's emotionally checked out, it's the fastest way to lose not only but yourself. The emotional departure always happens before the physical one. By the time she verbalizes these phrases, her heart has already left the room. You see, women disconnect emotionally long before they physically walk out the door. They stop investing in the little things, the way she used to text you in the middle of the day, the excitement in her eyes when she'd talk about future plans. It's the warmth in her touch when you were just sitting next to each other in silence. But here's the painful truth. When she starts using phrases like, "I need to find myself," or "I don't want to hurt you," what she's often really saying is, "I've already started detaching. I just don't know how to tell you directly." This is where most men make the fatal mistake. They chase harder, plead, bargain, and try to fix something that's already slipped through their fingers. But the more you chase, the further she withdraws. Why, it's not about you, and yet it absolutely is. Let's be brutally honest. Sometimes you didn't do anything wrong. You showed up, you loved, you provided, you supported. Yet, the emotional chemistry quietly faded. Other times, maybe you got too comfortable. You stopped leading with vision. You stopped making her feel seen. It's not because you didn't care, but because you thought she'd always be there, regardless of which side you're on. When she utters these key phrases, it's not an invitation to prove your worth to her. It's a reflection of where she's at internally. But here's the twist. This is also a mirror reflecting how much of yourself you've lost in this relationship. The dangerous game of trying to convince someone to love you. Have you ever tried to hold water in your hands by squeezing it tightly? The harder you squeeze, the faster it escapes. Love operates the same way. When you feel her slipping away, there's a primal urge to hold on tighter, to text more, to explain, to fix, to do something. But the harsh reality is this: the moment you start negotiating for love, you're already losing respect, both hers and your own. Convincing someone to stay is a transaction that always ends with you paying the price. The more you chase, the more you teach her that your self-worth is dependent on her validation. And the man who loses his self-respect in the process of keeping someone always ends up abandoned, emotionally drained, spiritually bankrupt. Dignity is walking away when it's hardest to do. So most people think strength is in endurance, in holding on. But sometimes the greatest act of strength is knowing when to let go. When she says those words, "I just need time," or "maybe we're not right for each other," you stand at a crossroad. One path leads to self-betrayal, where you keep trying, keep shrinking, keep molding yourself into a version that might win her back. The other path, it's brutal, it's lonely, but it's dignified. It's the path where you choose yourself. You walk away not because you don't care, but because you've realized that staying would mean sacrificing your own value. The hidden strength in emotional detachment. Detachment isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about choosing peace over chaos. When you detach, you create space, not just for her, but for yourself. You start seeing things with clarity. You start remembering who you were before the relationship consumed you. Detachment allows you to step back and assess: am I respected here? Am I valued here? Is this relationship nurturing my growth or stifling it? More often than not, the answers are painful. But truth, no matter how bitter, is always liberating. Detachment is reclaiming the power you unconsciously handed over from needing to being needed. The shift in masculine energy, one of the most powerful transformations a man can undergo, is shifting from needing validation to being the source of it. When you internalize that your worth isn't dictated by her affection, you stop operating from a place of scarcity. Instead of asking, "How can I make her stay?" you start asking, "Am I showing up as the man I admire?" That's the energy shift where everything changes. Because a man who respects himself becomes magnetic, not because he's trying to impress, but because he's grounded, unshaken. The very detachment that once seemed like a loss becomes the source of your undeniable presence. How to walk away with dignity? A practical blueprint. Walking away isn't an impulsive decision. It's a conscious process of reclaiming your center. Here's how you do it. 1. Acknowledge the emotional reality. Stop rationalizing or explaining away her words. Accept them as the emotional truth of the moment. Point 2. Communicate with calm clarity. When she says, "I need space," respond with dignity. "I respect that. I won't stand in the way of your process." No guilt tripping, no chasing. It's just a calm assertion of your boundary. 3. Seize all unnecessary contact. Silence isn't a manipulation tactic. It's a sanctuary for both of you to reflect. The man who can handle silence without panic is a man who commands respect. 4. Refocus on self-development. Shift your energy towards personal growth, mentally, physically, spiritually. Rediscover passions you've neglected. Rebuild the areas of your life that make you proud to be you. 5. Surround yourself with high-value connections. With obsession, community breeds perspective. Surround yourself with men and mentors who will call you out and lift you up. Healing through purpose, not through revenge or replacement. It's tempting to jump into distractions, a rebound, endless parties, or even the cold comfort of resentment. But healing isn't found in avoidance. It's found in purpose. This is your opportunity to transform heartbreak into a catalyst for becoming the man you were always meant to be. Ask yourself, what legacy am I building? Who do I want to be 5 years from now? What pain am I ready to outgrow? When you focus on building a life so full, so rich with meaning, you'll realize that her departure was never a loss. It was an initiation. The man who walks away with dignity always wins in the long run. In the short term, you'll hurt. There's no sugarcoating that, but in the long run, dignity outlasts temporary affection. The man who can say, "I loved her, but I chose myself," becomes unbreakable. Because self-respect is a currency that never depreciates. And here's the paradox: the very moment you stop needing to be chosen is the moment you become someone who naturally attracts loyalty, admiration, and genuine connection. Closing message: awaken your inner strength. If you're listening to this, it's not by accident. You're here because a part of you knows it's time to evolve, to stop chasing validation, to start living with intent. At Awaken Mindset, we believe that every heartbreak is a hidden blessing, an opportunity to awaken the version of yourself that doesn't beg for love, but commands it by presence. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to join this journey with us. Like this video, subscribe to Awaken Mindset, share this message with a brother who needs to hear it. Because every time you choose dignity over desperation, you're not just walking away, you're walking towards the man you were always meant to be.